Hey, welcome to the Whatever You're Into podcast, where we talk about whatever you're into. I'm with Mesky. I already forgot what the hell we're calling you.
Marquise.
Marquise.
Hello.
And
Step bro.
Step bro.
Step bro, I'm caught in the dryer.
Horny step bro.
Oh, and Mesky, what the hell are we talking about today?
All right.
Here it is.
Vore.
Oh, God.
What?
Vore. Do you know what Vore
Oh,
is?
that's eating people, dude. That's eating things.
I thought, what?
Like eating full
VORE.
people and like seeing, like I've seen pictures of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think
Hold
that was
on.
this episode.
Eating, like,
Oh,
you're not talking like cannibalism. You're
it's-
talking.
No,
slightly
it's
different.
fantasy cannibalism.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You know, the people are still alive when they go into the stomachs, but this...
Oh, so this is like
existing
that
inside
sci-fi
somebody who's
thing where they
consumed.
shrink you down and like put you in the
Kinda.
person to,
Or like Yoshi
except for
eating
it's
somebody
sexy.
and pooping them in an egg.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Give
okay.
us a little more detail. So like,
I mean, so here's the one
Didn't
thing.
Pinocchio get eaten by a whale?
Yeah.
Vore. That's
Yeah,
o-
Vore.
That's the OG,
OG
Vore,
Vore.
dude.
The
I'm sure
response,
there's older ones.
the response I got for this podcast, I mean, I got so many people that wanted to talk about it, and there's so many different
So the
variants.
Vore fan base, or the Vore community, is very
huge.
vocal.
This is the biggest community I've ever talked to. It's like 50,000 people on that subreddit.
I guess if we don't count like the BBW guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
this is,
suppose.
like,
Yeah, in terms of
For a more niche community, it's kind of.
yeah, I wouldn't think it was that popular, but we got a huge response, so we might end up having to revisit it.
Almost certainly, because I remember when we were younger, you were the one that introduced me to Vore when we were in high school. I remember we were hanging out and you were talking to me about it, and I looked it up and we were looking at pictures of it and stuff.
All right.
And yeah, I'd say maybe around 15, 16, you showed me it.
Oh, the only thing this is telling me is that there's a lot of high school I don't remember. Or
But yeah,
that
you
area.
were using drugs.
Yeah. So yeah.
And you were like a part of the trench coat mafia, you looked like, for half of high school. You looked like you were going to commit a school shooting, and I was prepared any day to fucking
You
hear
were
the
locked
news.
and loaded.
Yeah.
All
Still
right.
got that trench coat?
No, I never wore.
I don't
it.
think it's a trench coat. It's just like a big black leather jacket you had.
Oh yeah. That was a nice jacket. Ben made me get rid of it though.
Fuck him.
I didn't wear it.
The
He's
trench
right.
coat was more like a personality.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, he
Got
gave
it. I
off the vibes of, I really like Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. I look up to them. I know all the details about Columbine.
They're just
Those are the vibes.
misunderstood.
And you listened to a lot of Nine Inch Nails and like industrial at the time.
Yeah,
So again,
that's fair.
Columbine.
You didn't stop listening to Nine Inch Nails
I
and
love Nine
Industrial,
Inch
did
Nails,
you?
man.
Okay.
No, I love Nine Inch Nails.
Good job.
So wait, does it work? Is this both ways? You know what I mean? Like, is it people
Being eaten and eating?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, this is one where there's truly a huge spectrum of it. Even on the post that I made, somebody was like gatekeeping Vore.
I love
'cause
it.
Vore has, it seems like the connotations is it's very prominent in the furry community or like.
Every fucking weird fetish is prominent in the furry community.
Yeah, it's like
There
it's
is
kinda
so
like
much
a weird
crossover
fetish
with those
umbrella.
people.
Yeah, but he was like, can we not represent Vore as just a furry thing? Some of us
I
in the
respect.
community remember when it was about fantasizing about getting eaten by wild animals.
That's fucking right, dude. He's putting his foot down.
And so I'm like, there are people out
That's
there.
the guy we got?
No, that's not the guy we got.
Dude, that guy would be fucking gold.
But we could get him on someday. He deleted his comment because I just said, hey, it's up to our guest. At that point, I had already found a guest, and I told him it's up to our guest to lead the conversation and share their story, you know?
Well, at the very least, you brought it up, so we got you, bud.
Yeah, and then also I definitely saw some like real life Vore porn of like women swallowing goldfish and shit.
Does this like have any crossover with crushing and stuff at all?
It has crossovers with a lot of things, it seems like. But
What's a goldfish taste like?
I don't know.
Fishy, I bet. Tuna-ish.
Fishy-ish? Tuna-ish?
But okay, so with Vore, so it's the people's fantasies is themselves getting eaten by like a large person. Is that what it is some of the time?
Person,
'Cause that's what I remember seeing
anthropomorphic
pictures of.
character, plant.
It's like a large
Yoshi,
being eating
a
them
large
as a smaller thing,
or
and
them
then
being
existing
so,
inside them.
So there's a predator and prey dynamic
Yes.
in that community, and some people like to be preds, some people like to be prey.
Oh, I love
some
shortening
people-
words that don't need to be shortened. Preds.
Preds, yeah. And I guess most people, I'm guessing, is probably switch, and they like, both. I think they like the idea of like the belly getting full,
Yes.
and like the person
I remember
squirming
pictures,
around
they
in
looked
the
like they were
stomach.
about to burst. Like,
yeah,
that was
exactly.
one of the gimmicks.
Exactly, and that they want like the person, like an internal shot. Obviously, this is all art that people are drawing, but they want like an internal shot of the person like squirming in the
they don't
stomach.
get the cameras that they use for like colonoscopies
Dude, honestly,
and shove it in their mouth
I bet
instead?
that's some people like
Probably,
taking
yeah.
it to its logical.
But I just feel like in real life,
Oh yeah, we got the alien aspect where things are bursting out too, right? Like, is that does that come into play? Like,
I don't know about bursting out, but definitely shitting out.
okay,
That's definitely,
shitting.
it's definitely
Okay,
a
that's a
thing.
burst of sorts.
Yeah.
A brown burst. So they like being eaten. They like
Eating.
they want to come out alive, right? So they want. It's like
I don't know. Some people like it fatal.
Because I could have
I'm
swore
guessing.
it's been a while since I've even looked into this, but I could have swore there's like an aspect of surviving the fiasco and like coming out and like
Covered in diarrhea. And
yeah, like being literal waste and like that. There's like an enjoyment.
Maybe. I guess I don't
I
know.
guess we can
I am
deep
not
dive.
that. You seem to be like more well researched on.
We
Vore than I
literally
am.
were. You showed it to me. We were looking into
Black
it
hole,
together.
man.
And
That area.
You were at one point.
Parts of my life that there are parts of my life that I don't remember.
You've showed me
and
too
parts
many things that
I don't wanna remember.
You're the reason that I know about basically any obscure fetish.
Yeah.
Because at some point you would Skype me and be like, "Hey, look at this."
Look at this.
Like, no, I don't want to look at this. But now I can't fucking
But you
forget it.
did.
But you got to forget it, you lucky son of a bitch.
A lot of drugs, man. That's all it takes.
Okay, I
drugs
guess I
and
gotta
mental
catch up.
illness. But yeah,
Interesting. So Vore, and do we know where that word comes from? What is that,
No.
like a portmanteau of like?
no idea.
Okay.
I'm curious. That's gonna be one of
Gore.
the
I
questions.
obviously think of gore.
Is that how it's spelled?
V-O-R-E.
V-O-R-E?
Vore. Vore.
Yeah.
Like, or divorce.
Omnivore.
Oh, like carnivore.
Carnivore. Oh, that's probably fucking
Oh,
it.
I was
Marquise.
wrong. No, I didn't get it. I said hors d'oeuvres.
Vore.
I tried to pronounce the vor in hors.
Well, you gotta
d'oeuvres.
That's a
Hors
good pun,
d'oeuvres.
though. Would you like some hors
Well,
d'oeuvres?
hors
I mean, it's just
d'oeuvres.
like
Yeah.
little
Bring hors d'oeuvres.
foxmen.
That's awesome.
So yeah, there is a very prominent furry aspect of the community these days.
Yeah.
But apparently it wasn't always like that.
Now, the furry aspect, is it they want to see furries get eaten, or they want to see anthropomorphic things eat
Both.
other things?
Both.
It's just they love the anthropomorphic things being involved in Vore.
Yep.
So maybe the human Vore isn't as common? Because I remember
I don't
seeing
s-
like weird female-looking creature things, like succubus.
Yeah,
like,
there's definitely that too. There's a lot. I've seen both. I've been following this subreddit for a couple days now, and there's a ton of stuff. So it's plants, like a carnivorous plant, like a
Yes.
piranha plant eating
Man-eating
somebody.
thing, yeah.
Apparently, Yoshi has its own fucking subdivision in the Vore.
Dude, there were literally kids that were playing Smash Bros. And they got fucking hard on from Yoshi eating something and
Yeah.
pooping it out as an egg.
And that's one thing that trips me up about Vore is I'm like, how are you necessarily like exposed to that? Like obviously,
That you with like Star Fox. and,
yeah.
like,
Okay, I guess yeah. With Smash Bros, it's like
Literally.
okay, if somebody, I
Is that
guess
why
Star
Yoshi's-
Fox made me.
Is that why the Yoshi bit is so big? Is that how
Yeah,
people get into
probably.
it?
Yeah, probably is. Because I just think of how many times in life do you see like cartoons of people being eaten? Like
it would
Pinocchio,
happen, but
we already
yes,
mentioned that
Kirby and Yoshi, like literally Smash Bros makes everybody into a fetishist, it
yeah,
seems.
probably it's Japanese.
We need to
people.
ban that shit. Fucking, let's take down Smash Bros. It's making our kids fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, just reminded me of how much I like Star Fox. I discussed briefly with the guys what we're talking about. We're talking about Vore today. So basically, in your words, what is Vore, and what exactly do you like about it?
So Vore is like a pretty big kind of like umbrella kink, where I'd say like it's basically any situation in which one character goes entirely inside of another. That's about it.
So it's not just eating.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's not just eating, it's injecting.
Like, there's not injecting usually, but like you sit through any orifice in the body and some that don't exist. So there's like oral Vore, so that's where they're like swallowed with the mouth.
Sure.
There's anal Vore, where they go up the butt.
My favorite.
Cock
Boofing.
where they go into the urethra and then somehow end up in the balls usually.
Sounds painful.
There's unbirth,
Wow.
where they go up the womb.
The what? The what?
Unbirth.
Unbirth.
They go into the vagina and then into the womb.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
And-
types of war out there.
Yeah, it seemed.
And you touched on, did you say that there's certain orifices that don't exist? Like there's a fictional creation of something that gets them into the body?
Yeah, so I've seen so there's like slime vor, right? So where you just
Sure.
go inside of a giant slime, or there's
that's cool.
naval.
I've actually seen quite a bit of that, the slime one.
Yeah, that tends to relate with like the goo latex king. There's like
Yeah.
navel vor where the belly button will actually be like connected to the stomach or something, so they'll go in through that way. What else have I seen?
Is there a big preoccupation with like an anatomically correct vor, or is it just like any way you can get in them?
So I think the most like preferred category is definitely oral vor. I'd say like basically 99% of orophiles are going to be into that, and then usually it's relatively like anatomically correct, I guess, in the bounds of the kink. I mean, obviously the like the size of the two participants involved, the predator and prey, are going to be pretty unrealistic. But I guess in general, they're like it's a normal digestive system and stuff.
Yeah, you guys
Sure.
like to see like the stomach acid and the walls of the stomach and stuff.
Oh,
I've seen a lot of
yeah.
pictures of that, of like the inner shots, whatever you want to call it. The gut shot,
Yeah, and then and
Right.
the X-ray.
and you're talking about like the size of the people, because the pictures I've seen is typically it's been like a very large female-looking person, whether it's a person or creature, like a very large version taking into them a small person of some sort. Is that like, is the size difference an appeal, or is that just the way it has to be to get the pictures drawn accurately?
So I'd say actually the most common type of vor is what's called same size, where they're both roughly the same size, and like predator just basically like unhinges their jaw or through magic somehow
Sure.
swallows them.
All right.
But then there's just like size difference, where there's just a little bit of difference, so that it's like a bit more feasible. And then after that, you start getting into basically macro and micro kink.
Yep. Now, when they're like the same size, obviously they consume this person. They're like going to nearly burst, right? Like, is that an appeal, or is that like, I would assume at least, right? Or
For them, like bursting,
Like the belly expansion that comes with.
oh,
Yeah.
like the belly getting very big. Yeah, that's a major thing for a lot of people.
Okay. What exactly do you like about it? Like what what appeals to you about that act?
Oh, geez. Honestly, probably literally everything. Like, I love the mall shots, like
Okay.
the inside the mouth, like thinking about going down a throat, being like hugged all around by someone else's body, where it's like
Okay.
wet and warm.
So you like that compression?
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
okay, so our first guest, Bob, he had the puffy down fetish, and
you're
he
definitely
talked.
not claustrophobic, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
he talked about the compression that he would get from wearing a down jacket, and he would layer up like just a ton of them, and so that seems to be like almost a common theme between a couple of different fetishes.
Safety and security of it.
Yep. That
I guess in your case,
compression.
it's the opposite of like safety and security, though, because you're getting consumed.
Well, so like that depends on like the kind of war art. So there's like basically like 3 or 2 major camps. There's non-fatal, where the prey doesn't get harmed in any way, or maybe sometimes they'll even get healed. There's actually like healing vor. And
right.
then there's like fatal with reformation, where if the prey gets eaten, they get digested, but they just kind of like pop back into reality or through some other magical means. And then there's fatal vor, where they actually like
Done. No more. No mas.
And I, at least in my limited experience, it seemed like the kind where they survived seemed most common. Would you say that's the case, or I guess what's your preference?
Personally, I basically only like non-fatal, because
Okay.
I really like the just like the idea of being inside of someone just for
Okay.
very long periods of time is very erotic. But
Long periods of time, so like the whole digestive process, is that like the idea, or extended even longer than that?
yeah, basically just being inside of his stomach for like maybe like even weeks at a time is
Okay.
quite the great idea. So there's a type of vor called full tour, where they literally just go through the entire digestive system and come out on the other.
Yep.
Is this always like a porn, or I feel like these types of situations always end up in a cartoon or like something like that?
Oh yeah,
Like-
there's like literally like a Vore episode for every single cartoon. Probably
Yes.
because
Yep.
because of like there was this one novel written, what is it called, The Fantastic Voyage in like the 1920s or something.
Yeah.
They, like,
Is that with like the Lilliputians and stuff? With
no, you're thinking of Gulliver's Travel.
That's it. Okay.
For some reason, cartoons, since they have to pump one out like every week, they tend to copy each other's narratives a lot. So there's literally like a Vore episode of basically every like major long-running cartoon in existence.
Okay.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that-
definitely.
Yeah, I can think of some for sure. And then we were discussing before this, like certain characters like Kirby, Yoshi, that's like their entire existence, and you're exposed to that for our fucking entire lives.
Here's a quick.
Is that good enough? Is that as good as the porn when you see it in like more traditional media, or is there something missing for you if you're watching something like that?
I don't know. Honestly, it would depend on like how it's shown, because like a lot of Vore art in itself is very farcical, and also like in terms of like traditionally being erotic, like I mean a lot of Vore art doesn't even like have genitalia or like sex or anything in it at all.
Yeah, the small amount I've seen
Erotic to me.
is like
Yeah.
that. Yep.
Sounds like you've seen a lot, Step Bro. But me, I haven't seen any of this,
It's a
so I'm
very-
trying to tie this to like Miss Frizzle and stuff like that from the Magic School
yeah.
Bus.
Oh yeah, that's actually no. But my small experience with this was very memorable. Like that's when you're introduced to this, it can be a little bit shocking, obviously. But we were touching on like your preferences. So you said you prefer non-fatal, and you said potentially weeks at a time. So like a nice long extended stay. Are there other like preferences in it?
Like for me or like in general.
Well, for you, I guess, like, because obviously we care about your perspective a little bit more, just because.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Usually I like it when like the prey is like they're smaller than the predator, but not like too small where they can't be like hugged by the stomach or anything. And generally I like it when the stomach is just like really like messy, maybe full of food, and you just have to like just be in there covered in the environment, like where you're completely surrounded on all senses by like another person. I mean, it's just like it's really like intimate.
I was about to say extreme intimacy, like the furthest you can take intimacy almost is literally being inside the person entirely. For some reason, when you said like, because you want them to go down like in the throat and like feeling everything and being surrounded, it made me think of like the opposite of a swoosh in basketball where it's all net and like, you know what I'm saying? And then instead of like going around the rim and going, I don't know.
It's like when you put a quarter in the thing at the mall and it just goes around and it takes like half a minute.
Yeah, something like that. But so for you though, it sounds like a big focus on the closeness, the like we said, the intimacy. Is that pretty typical for everybody, or because there's got to be like obviously something that is like a thread through all of Vore, other than maybe just the consuming?
I would say character interactions are like a very, very big part of it, definitely.
Okay, so like what leads up to it?
Yeah, like I mean, there's people who like they really like it when like the predator is like really like careless, or they're like really caring and overly protective, or stuff like that, or they're like forcing situations somehow. There's some.
Oh, the predator is?
Yeah.
Okay, so they like don't want to, but they have to end up eating the prey.
Yeah, I would say that's less common than the predator wanting to eat them.
Okay. And then, so like, let's say you get down to the stomach or wherever they're going to end up. Another appeal is the acids and like the bodily fluids, like doing its job, or.
Yeah. So I don't really like digestion, but I do like the like just the idea of being just completely covered by like all the contents of the stomach.
Okay.
Just like that. I don't know. Like it's just quite like a sensual sounding thing.
Okay.
Now, talking about like being covered, is it the stomach specifically you like, or what if like somebody's hugging somebody and they're like fully embraced like that? Are they like kind of separate in that sense, or is it still
Like just getting a hug? I would say that's pretty different. Yeah.
So that doesn't do it for you.
It's just like I don't know, just like a different thing.
No, that's fair. I mean, obviously,
Statement I could possibly.
No, I
hugging
gotcha.
someone and eating them are two different things.
I guess I'm trying to relate the embrace, the being close and being surrounded by somebody.
Maybe I'm picking up on this question. So obviously, what you're talking about in Vore in general seems to exist mostly in art, in what people draw and make. Is there anything in real life that is kind of close to that? Because obviously we don't
Sushi?
eat people, you know. Like, is there anything that scratches your itch in reality?
Oh, for me or
In general, for anybody.
well, like in terms of like role play in the bedroom, like I don't know, just listening to someone's stomach,
Okay.
like doing like talking, like oh, you're like such a prey or stuff like that.
Little dirty talk. The stomach thing's interesting because we had somebody that was into heartbeats and stuff, and they'd get aroused just being with their partner, feeling their pulse, listening to their heart. So there's that kind of similarity.
Is there any sort of like a suit that you can put on to like replicate
like a pregnancy?
that experience, or at least what you think the experience would be like, that of being inside someone's stomach? Has anybody invented that?
So there's nothing I've done like myself, but I have definitely seen and heard of some pretty interesting stuff. So in Japan, there's actually this like business. They're called the Vore Cafe. They're like basically,
Oh, right.
I think that does this like on Earth. It's
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
so they got like this inflatable orca that it looks like they're giving fucking open heart surgery to. It's kind of weird looking, but it's because they got like an air tube going into it.
Yeah.
And then the inflatable orca is sitting inside of a pool of hot water. And then
Okay.
and then you like go inside of it, and there's like an air tube coming in, and then they'll fill it up with this stuff called like J-lube, which they use like for veterinary reasons. Basically it's lube you can make gallons of for dirt cheap, and then make
All right.
chunks of it and stuff in there. And anyways, then they'll zip you up inside of that, and they'll shake the orca or whatever to like simulate a stomach.
All right.
That's the most Vore-like experience I've heard of in reality. Stuff I know that people have done like outside of that. There's some people who get sleeping bags and fill them full of lube and like have their partners massage that.
Okay.
There are these like bondage toys that are like inflatable spears or whatever you can go into, but they're a little dangerous though, because you have to have hose or like a
Yeah, I've being a part of the inflatable community, there are some people that have some, whether you call it suits or, inflatables that people get inside. And I hear people using CPAP machines in order to breathe in them, just because, like you said, it is dangerous. Not a solo adventure.
Now, those things you described, have you experienced them, or do you want to try? Does that sound appealing to you?
I would definitely want to visit that cafe in Japan. Yeah,
I would try that.
Some Vore toys. Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy.
But I haven't experienced them personally, no.
And it sounds like the thing in Japan, the Vore Cafe, is there also the experience of like being birthed or coming out of it? That's like, I don't know.
No, I don't.
Yeah, do you have to crawl out of like a little escape tunnel?
I think it's just this. I think they just have the one inflatable.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. It reminds me of an episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Malcolm goes through
I
this
was just
experience
thinking about
and he like
that.
gets birthed. Obviously, this is quite a bit different, but that's the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah.
It's like an advanced sleep deprivation chamber.
I mean,
I
honestly,
think that'd be
yeah,
fun. It wouldn't even
No,
turn me on or
honestly, yeah.
anything. It'd be fun.
sensory deprivation. That sounds like pretty similar, huh? Or I mean,
Sensory
close.
Maybe, I guess.
I mean, except you're not really being deprived of your senses so much more as being like having all of them activated at once,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as strong as possible.
It's more of
That's
sensory
fair.
overload type thing.
Yeah.
yeah, essentially overload chamber.
All right. So let's go on to,
History.
when did you realize you liked Vore? Like, what was it that really, just when did you realize you liked Vore? What did you see
before it was sexual? Because I know there seems to be a common theme where, at least with like Mesky, where there's a period where there's interest, but it obviously wasn't sexual due to age or something. But I mean, it was something.
So honestly, thinking back to literally the earliest age I can, I'd say honestly like probably around 6 or so. Just like even seeing stuff like the Magic School Bus episode on like the digestive system.
Yep.
Marquise was right.
I feel like this like complete flush feeling, like butterflies in my stomach, and I like couldn't watch it. I had no idea why. and it would continue like that with like certain episodes of cartoons and whatever, where I'd get like way too excited for no particular reason. I wouldn't know why.
Are there any standout episodes you can remember of stuff that we might have seen?
Standout. Honestly, nothing I can think of right now.
Okay, no worries.
There's that one time Homer was inside of Mr. Burns, right? That was pretty cool.
So. Oh, like, how about episodes like, I know Rick and Morty did it recently where they shrink down and go into somebody's body to like fight off shit. Is it like
Osmosis Jones.
kind of similar to the Osmosis Jones? Yes, it was a good ass fucking movie. But is that like the same? Obviously, kind of getting close to that.
I don't think Osmosis Jones has anything to do with Vore.
So they're actually
kind of like bacteria.
There's a subset of Vore. So there's the subset of Vore is called endosomatophilia, where it's like really focused on like exploring the body and like non-fatalness. And then there's a subset of that called Osmosis Jones style, like
Yes,
where they actually do like explore like the body as like this abstract concept of
Oh my god.
of, like actually going to the brain and like the ovaries and the testes or whatever.
that is so cool.
I'm not really that interested in that, but that definitely does exist.
Okay.
Oh, that's
interesting.
awesome, man.
That is, man. It's so
I just
generic
watched
to say at this point, but
Osmosis
man,
Jones
there's
not too long ago.
anybody will get off to anything. Like Osmosis Jones, dude. That is unbelievable, but very cool that there's people out there.
Nothing to bacteria.
Yeah. But yeah, so like Magical School Bus for you or Magic School Bus for you. I guess go from there. Sorry.
Yeah, when did you realize it was sexual?
When did I realize it was sexual? So I was like, when I was like, I don't know, I'd say like 10. Yeah, when I was around 10, I was like really into playing the Pokemon games or whatever. And I was like really bothered by how they never ever showed they never ever implied whatever the fuck the Pokemon ate. I'm like, did Pokemon eat other people or not? And I don't know why, but this thought like swam around in my head for literally like months. So I would like Google it. So like I ended up like Googling it. And then I eventually found some forums about specifically Pokemon eating other Pokemon. And that's how I found the term Vore. And then I was like, holy shit, dude, this is fucking crazy. This is amazing. And then I forgot about it for like a year until like I started to have like actual sexual feelings. And then I looked up Vore again and boom, put two and two together.
Yep. Now, just a quick question. Vore, is that short for omnivore, carnivore, or?
So the term itself was like coined in the 1990s on like this like Web 1.0 word.
Sure.
So it's like a combination of Latin and Greek word. So vorare, I think, just means to devour or to eat. So Vore is just a shortening of that. It doesn't have any other origin. Before that, it used to just be called the swallowing community to distinguish.
The swallowing community?
Yeah.
Sexual cannibalism?
Maybe we can touch on this later, but I would like to. Is there any crossover with like? Do you remember the Cannibal Cafe stuff and that one guy eating that guy? Is that like the same community?
So no, I'd say they're pretty different communities because most of Vore is like it's very specifically like the bit that's being eroticized is like someone going whole and alive into someone else.
You want it all one piece.
Now there are like, you know, farcical depictions of like death or whatever, you know, once they're inside for some Vore. I would say the kind of like stuff that's depicted in Vore, like honestly, a lot of it you could literally probably just put in like a daytime TV show and no one really knows why.
Straight up, yeah, honestly.
So I would say there are like there is like an overlap with like a small portion of the community that are really into gore that might like that. But even then, I would say like even if they're into like the chewing and like blood aspect, they're usually still going in whole and alive. If that makes any sense.
Okay. And you mentioned, so you found a forum that had Pokemon eating other Pokemon, and I'm slowly developing a theory. Pokemon is a gateway to all sorts of fucking like shit like this.
Disney too, right? Disney has to be.
My Little Pony.
Honestly, like people love Pokemon and they're like, okay, now let's put my fetish in Pokemon and see if other people like it. And it fucking works, dude. Like honestly, with that, so because I think you bring up a good point, and I'd love to discuss it more. Because for the longest time we didn't know what Pokemon ate, and we have to assume that some Pokemon ate other Pokemon. You know, there had to be carnivores. Obviously they brought in like Pokeblocks and all this bullshit, but no, a fucking Weedle is getting eaten by a fucking Fearow. I know it as a fact. I don't care if they don't tell me it. I know it's happening. So I respect your like interest in looking into it, and like at least you found the Vore community, but like other people were discussing it too, which I fucking love.
Yo, there used to be actual fish in Pokemon, okay? They black bagged that stuff. They're trying to hide it. There are actual animals in Pokemon. What happened?
Yes.
It's a conspiracy.
You're fucking spot on, because there's not only Magikarp in the sea. There's got to be a bass. There has to be a salmon that doesn't have fucking magical powers that uses moves to attack people. There's just fish eating fucking krill. I don't know. But so you find the Pokemon stuff, and then obviously you're probably like hitting puberty, and things obviously go fucking nuts. From there, I guess. What happens? You're obviously going to branch out of Pokemon. You're going to develop connections, I would assume, in this community, or?
I would say I mostly just looked at the art for like a few years after that.
Okay.
I didn't really start getting involved like in the community and making art until like way later. Maybe like.
Oh, you make your own art?
Yeah, I do.
Very cool. You definitely got to send Mesky some links because we'd love to look at that.
You already sent me a link.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you some at the end.
Okay, but are you really into the community? Do you like get commissions for art? Do you?
So I have gotten commissions before. Actually, none for Vore. I got a commission for a VR chat avatar, which I got like literally $5,000 for.
Yes, people pay a lot for that shit.
Yeah, and also, what was my other commission? I got a commission to make actually like a popping gift, where it's just like a little latex balloon dude pops.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, is that something that you have interest in, like making a career out of, like doing stuff like that? Because there's people, it seems, that literally just make their living off of commissioning, whether it's for their own specific community or just, I don't know, fetish art in general.
No, I think I usually just do it more as a hobby because, I mean, I got a pretty decently well-paying job. So.
Oh, that's good.
Now, is your fetish something that you make known to those around you, or is it just like a partner thing, or?
So I definitely let partners know. It's kind of a pretty major thing for me.
Yeah,
sure.
That makes perfect sense.
I mean, I got I like chats with the work community and I do like role play sometimes, but I wouldn't say like people I don't have like a really close relationship. Definitely.
So you are pretty private about it, other than pretty much just your partners and other people in the community?
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. That's fair.
Now, with your partners, do they tend to be into Vore as well, or is it just something they work with you, like they'll indulge and go along with it, or do you seek out somebody that also has that fetish?
Basically, every one of my boyfriends has been from the furry community, so they definitely know what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd say. Let's see. I'd say one of them was into Vore.
Okay.
One of them was like half into Vore. The other ones, they've all been accepting.
Yeah.
But
If
with
they're
them being in
furries,
the
they
furry
should be.
community, I'm sure they're much more inclined to go
Yeah.
with it and be, which is huge, because it seems if somebody is not into your fetish and it's a big part of your life, it's almost a recipe for disaster when it comes
Yep.
to a relationship.
Definitely. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met some guys who have had some failed relationships because of their fetish, and
Well,
not
have you
necessarily
ever
their
been-
fetish, but the way they go about it.
I don't know. If I was with somebody and I found out they had a fetish that I wasn't into, I wouldn't. I would indulge them. Like obviously we're different types of people, but
Yeah, I think we've said that before too.
Yeah.
It's like
I
it's
think
not
it's
hard
important.
to treat somebody you love with a little extra love like that.
Yeah.
But whatever, I guess I can't.
well, but with your fetish,
I speak idealistically, not realistically. Who knows what
I mean,
someone could
if
bring
it's
up
like
to me.
really gross stuff, I could maybe see
Like
why
scat or
somebody,
something where they
why they
want
wouldn't
you
want to
to.
get involved. But if it's something innocent and harmless, I mean, it sounds like that most of your fetish in the bedroom has to do with role play, right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, there's nothing wrong with that. If people can't indulge you in a little role play, why would you want to be with them?
I'd say, I guess, for some people, it just can just be like a lot to stomach because, like stuff
Yeah.
related to the digestive system. We're kind of like,
a lot to stomach.
We got to pause for a second. A lot to stomach. Apparently your fetish is a lot to stomach.
That's good. Do you have any other fetishes that cross over, or just any other fetishes in general?
let's see. Let me think.
Let's see. That means there's a list.
I like
Right on.
I like furries because they just make more sense as like predators and like humans.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like, the mouth can get bigger. Also, there's like they have more like natural dynamic and size differential than how it is with humans. Also, like, the idea of being eaten by a dragon is just like super fucking hot. So.
But
awesome.
isn't the idea of being in a furry costume almost a little bit like Vore? Like you are. I mean, maybe I'm off base here.
I didn't think about that.
So the thing about Vore is like, I mean, like at the edges, like Vore can literally like with the most like permissive definition, Vore can literally just be like existing in the universe or like just the state of being. But like because there's like object Vore where the Preds will like swallow like marbles and stuff. That's a type of Vore. There's soul Vore where the Pred will like basically vape the soul out of like the prey. Which
you say vape out of an e-cig?
Some Ghostbuster shit right there.
No, like they just like I don't know, just like look in the eye and like blue mist will like come out of their mouth and like swallow it and
I see.
Oh, a little Green Mile action.
Yeah.
You just roll it up and smoke it.
Roll it.
But that's interesting. You said like just existing in the universe could technically be Vore because I guess you are within a thing that's in this case much bigger than you, so it's got the macro micro thing going on.
And I don't consent to that. Oh god.
That's
I don't consent
weird
to
feels.
being bored by the universe.
That's actually like pretty heavy.
you could say it's kind of an all-consuming thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta get out of this room, man.
Dude, are we in a fucking H.P. Lovecraft novel, dude? This is fucking with me. With your specific interest with the, you like the process of being consumed and like being alive and stuff. Although it sounds like you're not as into it, with the ones where they don't survive or like what was the one transmorphing where they like come out changed?
Reformation. So there's Reformation where they just like pop back into reality. But there also is like Vore transformation where like they'll become like sentient fat on the Pred and be like, oh, like you made me so
sentient fat.
Or
interesting.
So there's also there's Vore that literally become like living tattoos in the prey for like weeks or permanently or whatever.
Okay.
That is crazy. I wouldn't have even thought of something. Okay.
This is a broad. So we might have to revisit this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So like somebody gets consumed and they could turn into a skin tag on somebody.
I could see you being a skin tag.
It's a bit more like
Step bro.
cartoony and cuter than that. But
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Does the fatal thing work the other way? Like
put
you
a
get
fucking
eaten and
smiley
turn into,
face
like,
on the
a
skin
tumor?
tag. It's cute as shit. Oh, a tumor?
Yeah. Does it work? The fatal work the other way?
Oh,
get
did the
eaten and
prey
turn
kill
into
the
a fatal or like a tumor?
Oh, so
parasite.
I'm gonna
they
get you
consume the
back.
person, they turn
Like,
into
don't
something
eat me,
bad
Pred.
in them and kill them?
I'm
Carcinogenic.
taking you with me.
Carcinogenic.
That's brutal.
Carcinogenic.
I've never seen that. That might.
It
I
sounds
almost certainly-
plausible.
It's gonna now.
Considering that some turn into tattoos. Is there like any cases where consuming somebody and then like having like a Siamese twin almost? Like or a conjoined twin, you know?
Like a second head pop out of their shoulder.
Or like a second person entirely?
So we're getting mostly into the overlap between Vore and TF King, but there are
And what?
where like they'll get transformation, where like you transform.
Oh,
But
yeah,
what was
okay.
the term you used for it?
TF.
Oh,
TF,
okay.
TFing.
Yeah. So there is Vore where they'll get eaten, and then like either the predator will absorb aspects of the prey, so they'll become like a hybrid of the two organisms, or they'll get eaten, come out, and be like remade as like the same species as the predator. Or what else?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's that.
Okay, but yeah, you said that's like kind of diving into another fetish, but they're obviously closely related, or at least tend to have decent
I feel
overlap.
like transformation is
like it's Vore overlaps with like a lot of things. I would say like probably maybe the majority, or at least the plurality of the Vore community doesn't have a TF king.
Okay.
I do want to say you guys are probably out of all the communities I've been a part of trying to get people on the podcast or just been a part of myself. You guys are probably the biggest. You guys have like what, 50,000 on that subreddit?
Yeah, it's a surprisingly large community.
Very large.
There was a poll done at I think it was Anthrocon where of the people they surveyed who said they had a kink, 11% said they had a Vore kink. So
That is
11%
insane.
furries, that's a lot. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've done my own surveys for like Arian.com, which is the largest Vore website, or like the Vore website basically. And we got 1,622 responses for a survey. So
1,622 responses.
Can I? You said Aryan.com, like Aryan Brotherhood?
No.
Okay.
Arian, Aryon.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down because I'm gonna check
That's
it
a
out.
Pokemon, right?
Yeah. It's a very 2005 looking website because it was
Okay.
I love those though.
updated, but
All right.
I mean, it is like the Vore website, like where like
All the best fetish websites look like they were made in 2005 and never got updated.
It ain't.
But is that website still
fix
active?
it.
People, that's still the go-to.
Oh yeah,
fair.
the website's huge. Like, fuck, there's probably like, I think they get like thousands of people using it a day at least.
Holy shit! So it like even yeah that
Well, I suppose
and
with
even with the
so much
subreddit.
crossover,
But it seems like a lot of places are modernizing and going to something like subreddit, like a
Oh
hub.
yeah.
But so that's even with the subreddit around, they still prefer this website. Most people.
So I would say because Vore is like I mean, there's like a tendency to like like people have like their different preferences and they're pretty strong, like, especially like the split between like fatal and non-fatal. Like there's a lot of people only prefer non-fatal art, but there's a lot of people who only want fatal because like they need that that
Yes.
conclusion to them, or like the orgasm. Right?
That's like with Mesky and the inflatable community, where they have poppers and non-poppers, where it's a very divisive thing.
Yeah, and they don't get along, but can you get along with somebody in the furry community that just feels differently, is in a different subgenre than you like? Or
Can
is it
you,
hard
do you
to
get along with the
other
fatal for people or no?
Yeah.
No, you do get along?
Because like I'd say like most people who are into like one Vore category that they like really prefer, they'll still like overlap with other ones and they'll be willing to play like other situations and whatnot. But I would say the issue with like r such Vore is because like the sub works where it's like you vote on stuff democratically, right? Stuff that's like niche but is like really popular with one group will end up being like really heavily downvoted.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
The stuff that's like the most general, but like not like maybe necessarily the most erotic, gets the most upvoted because it just like appeals to the most amount of people.
That's exactly it. Because like I'm into professional wrestling, and the subreddit for that, obscure, what I consider like good professional wrestling stuff like that, tends to not get upvoted at all. So it doesn't get a lot of eyes on it. So obviously it can't grow. It can't become whatever the case may be. But with yours, since you do prefer non-fatal, do you fuck around with fatal? Like, is that something like, or do you just avoid it entirely?
So I tend to like not like fatal art at all. If it's in, like a comic or an art piece, maybe sometimes I'll just try to ignore the scenes. If it's like a really nice Vore comic.
Comic. So they have like full. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's like Vore comics that have like 300 pages now. So
holy shit. Yeah, we're definitely gonna, once we're done with this, I'm gonna ask Mesky to get some more info from you, like stuff like that. I'd love to look at, and but with that, do they have like recurring series or like popular series with within the comic stuff?
So Vore is still like, it's not been very like it's mostly just indie like creators and stuff, people with like, Patreons and like subscribe stars. But yes, there's like some Vore comics that have been running, I'd say, for like 4 years now. They have like quite a few pages and like pre-existing character dynamics and like stuff that happened. So obviously most of it's just like kink stuff.
Okay,
well, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something also I'd love to take a look at. So. Yeah, Mesky mentioned it's a pretty big community, at least compared to who we've spoke with before, and Mesky's own community. Obviously, there's, with it being so big, there's the fatal, non-fatal. Is there like even more extreme stuff that like is a no-go for you, or just, I guess, extreme in general with it?
What about real life? Real life Vore.
So in general, when it comes to like just like even like real life roleplay stuff, that tends to be more popular with like people who are like into macro and micro, because like you can't really swallow like a full size person or even like simulate that really well on camera. I mean, you can swallow like gum, like
I've seen people like
Lego figurines or like gummies or stuff.
Oh yeah,
I've seen girls make videos of them like swallowing live goldfish and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Flintstones.
I would say that
Vitamins.
kind of stuff is not really
A bit fucked.
One because it's pretty amoral for one.
Yeah.
And two, also because like most people don't like relate on any level to it.
Yeah. A
Yes.
goldfish.
Right? I mean,
They're like, I want that to be me.
there's a lot of people who like the relationship between predator and prey is like really really important for like a lot.
That predator prey
I
dynamic.
guess, yeah, we should touch on that more.
Yeah,
'cause
let's
I
talk
guess that's a part
deep dive into the predator prey
So,
dynamic.
yeah, because you said you can't relate to a goldfish. So whomever is being consumed, if you're into being a prey, it sounds like you want to relate to them. Do you want them to be you? Like, do you want them to look like you? I guess how does that relationship work?
So I would say I definitely prefer the prey role, like literally like 99.997% of the time.
Okay.
That's what I find like the most.
Is that like being a sub, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Extreme
the
sub.
between being a sub and a dom and a pred and a prey are like really close. Though they're also like people who are like switches who like they prefer both being a pred or a prey. And there's like it's like more of like a bimodal than like a binary distribution. Where there's like two humps, but they like overlap instead of just, like being like two.
So there's a lot of switches.
Yeah. There's people on like the spectrum either end.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I guess for you, so what is it that you look for in the Vore specifically when you find a piece that you really like? What are the characteristics? Obviously, getting consumed and being totally surrounded, but I guess like what do you look for in a prey and what do you look for in predator?
So I usually like it when they're like really really like cutesy and nice to each other, and like they have like maybe like a little budding romantic relationship or a pre-existing one, and they're like basically always willing like to do it. Fuck, I didn't think that.
So does that mean you prefer like a comic, like something more long form?
Yeah. That really is like a lot nicer. I also like a lot of stories too.
Okay.
And what do those stories consist of? Just the building of the relationship before the consuming, or is it more than that?
So I mean, there can be a lot of different ones. Like some are just like hijinks, or like through like completely convoluted situations. The predator somehow ends up accidentally eating the prey, and like they gotta figure out how to get out.
When you describe this, it reminds me of like a corny porno, like the pizza man or the plumber gets stuck under, whatever. Is it kind of like akin to that?
Yes.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kid situation, and you fall asleep on a sandwich.
Honey,
or
I
something.
Shrunk the Kid. Yeah.
No, there are like very big tropes that are like very common in a lot of different horror comics. Actually, when you talk about the pizza guy, like a common trope of horror comics is like a predator will order like pizza and then they'll eat the pizza delivery man.
I love that.
It's actually like super common to like eat the pizza with them, or like.
I love tropes.
Do they eat the pizza then too, or not?
Yeah. Do they
Are
even
they
eat
too
the
full?
pizza?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
fuck
good.
yeah. Good. I don't like waste, bro. So that's sick. What are
Eat the box too. Like,
oh fuck yeah. I mean, you might as well. You've already eaten the person. You got to get rid of all the evidence.
Eat the receipt, eat the car.
What are some other are there other tropes you can think of in the stories?
So another really common one is like the predator and prey will be like going through like a cold Arctic forest, and oh no, I'm underdressed. I'm a big predator. Wow, what is the most? Wow, I'm so cold. Oh wow, there's one way I can keep you warm, but it's really weird. And then they eat them.
Okay.
What I'm learning
That's
from this is those cheesy porn interactions you're talking about that transcends all fetishes.
Yes. Seriously. Like people just need some type of setup to get them going. They need that connection. Now, I guess we haven't talked about like when they're swallowed, is there communication between the two things while the digestion's happening, or?
Yeah, I would say that happens in most horror comics, actually, the predator and prey talking to each other. Either like the prey like squirming around and like complaining, or like the predator being like making fun of them, or like they're just being like, really nice and like sweet and jovial to each other. Or what else?
Are they ever talking like, oh, don't worry, you'll make it out fine. It's okay. Just got to stand for a little bit longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Are they ever like shit talking like I'm gonna eat you again
Yeah, fuck
right
you,
as soon
bitch.
as you get
pussy
out?
little bitch. You're in my stomach now, bitch.
You didn't even taste good.
There's definitely a lot of that. For some reason, actually, I don't think there's a lot of cursing in horror for some reason.
Yeah, it sounds very
Power
innocent.
dynamics.
Yeah.
Innocent.
I mean, yeah.
They're eating people.
Well, like, okay, but like you've touched on like the intimacy and the stuff like that. It sounds like they're not going to say, "Hey, you little pussy, thanks for coming inside." You know, like I don't know. It seems like.
I mean, I think
Not gonna go all big
depends on, like, the
fat
individual
bastard on him.
preferences of like the artist and the.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, I suppose. But for you obviously, it doesn't sound like you're into the I don't know, humiliation of it. Is that the right word?
Yeah, I just don't really find that arousing.
Okay.
You want them to be nice to each other?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
That's
I love
nice.
them
I like that.
And gushy and lovey-dovey. It's just so cute and so. And then they do. It's like so intimate.
so they consume them, and then when you're saying cute, they're just saying like, "Oh, I love you so much," or "You feel so nice inside me." Like, I guess what does it consist of? Like, it's hard for me to imagine what they would say.
Geez. So I mean, it really depends.
Okay.
So like sometimes, like what happens after the prey is eaten, like fuck, it really depends on the scenario. Like, sometimes the prey will just like literally just like fall asleep and be like, "Oh, I'm so snugly and cozy," or
And they're like in a little coma.
Yeah, you're just hanging out in like a little
Hot tub.
in this hot tub.
Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly what I was trying to think of.
I've seen Vore where they're literally studying for like finals inside of.
Dude, what better place to study for finals than inside something where you're not going to be disturbed by the outside world? You know, like you got somebody supporting you saying, "Fuck yeah, you're going to ace that test, bro."
Well, if they're
fucking
into Vore,
study
they're
your
gonna
ass
be
off.
they're gonna be distracted by a massive boner.
Exactly.
Dude, I kind of get the appeal of this. Like when you're like putting it out that way, it makes sense. I think the sweetness part of it, because a lot of these, it seems, with the one gentleman we spoke with that was kind of into BBWs, he liked the nurturing aspect as well. The like the motherly, the I don't know. It just seems like people want to be loved and told they're loved, and it seems like this is just one way to get it, or at least something similar to
I
it.
mean, I would say it's kind of like the human condition to like crave for like deeper understanding and closeness with other people, right?
Yep, for sure.
I mean, take that to another level. Get truly as deep and as close as possible.
No, honestly, yeah, like it really, I don't know how much more intimate you could get. Maybe we could try to think of ways, but literally consuming an entire person or being of sorts, you're taking it to the extreme. I respect that.
And then, I mean, well, I guess one way you can get more intimate, and this is for like the people who like the fatal stuff, is like literally becoming another person or becoming one with another person.
Sure.
Like, I mean, marriage, like, people will talk about like becoming like one like unit as like a set. Well, I mean, like, literally becoming fat on someone, or, like becoming literally part of them is like a chimera with them.
Yep.
I mean, that's like a major part of it for some people. Just like
A marriage is the metaphorical becoming one. That's the literal becoming one. Yeah, that's wild.
Marriage is legal
Dude, it is.
for.
That is fucked up. Marriage is legal for.
But you
Get
need
a
a
bumper
priest.
sticker, guys.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
We can put that on a shirt. Whatever you're
Dude, I
into
love that, though.
podcast,
That's fucking
marriage
great.
is legal for. We might take that from you.
Well, I guess that kind of. So we've discussed a little about real life Vore. I mean, the legality of Vore.
I don't think it's physically possible.
I was gonna say, if we could consume a person, and no, that can't be legal. That's gonna probably
Well, it would,
kill 'em no matter
okay.
what.
So let's create a fictional
International
universe
waters.
in which you can eat somebody and they won't die. Then there's consent involved. If somebody can consent, obviously this guy would consent to
Well,
be
yeah,
eaten.
if they can't die. But this goes back like the Cannibal Cafe thing. That guy got in trouble because he helped kill the guy before he consumed him.
Yeah, but then they're not dying in this fictional.
But it was all
universe.
consent with the Cannibal Cafe, at least. I know, regardless of that, like, but the
that-
consent, if
Cannibal Cafe. There, he dismembered him and ate the
Yes.
person. Vore
I
is
understand.
swallowing whole.
sure, yeah, these are all whatever. So, do you not have any interest in cannibalism? Or is there a crossover ever in this community? I mean, honestly,
That's fair.
I would say there's like less crossover with Vore and cannibalism than like Vore and like feet. Actually, there's probably more crossover between Vore and feet than Vore.
oh, I guess that makes more
Yeah.
sense.
Because like you,
And that's totally fair.
I mean, you got to be like into like gore and guro kind of themes to also
Yeah.
like that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, there's Vore like where like it's like graphic after the digestion or whatever.
Okay.
I do think there's a lot of people who like that. But like just like this idea of like someone like literally like dying before they're eaten is like completely
You want them to be alive.
99% of horror files.
Oh, dying before they're eaten. There's no appeal.
Yeah, or just like parts of you getting eaten. Like
Sure.
That's not really you. That's just like your finger. Like.
Mm-hmm.
I was also curious. Is there any overlap with like the crushing community? Because if you're in somebody, I'm sure there's people who like the idea of the person getting, I don't know, like crushed inside them.
Like squished by a stomach.
Yeah.
I think that's like that definitely exists. I'm not sure if it's super popular. I mean, like being like tightly caressed by a stomach is pretty popular, but being like actually crushed by a stomach,
yeah, that's one step too far.
Isn't as popular. Like most people, like when they have like fatal Vore fantasies, they don't tend to imagine it as like a very like painful or like super like causing like grievous injury. They just like a lot of fatal Vore, like they literally just turn to like goo and like, oh no, I'm melting. And
okay, so the appeal isn't the pain of the digestion; it's just the end result. Ends justify the means, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so for those who like fatal.
Every time because we other than Mesky, we go into these conversations blind because we want to, I guess, have it as close to natural reaction to these things. But once we start discussing it, you realize how in-depth it is, and there's so many things to cover, so much the crossover with fetishes is insane. It is unreal. And because what we're mostly interested is, I guess, in your experience as well, because we can ask anybody the details of it, but like
how has this impacted your life? That's a good
one. Yeah. How big of a part of your life is it?
I would say it's like a pretty huge part of my sexuality. Like, I mean, I don't know. I like barely ever even look at art that isn't Vore, honestly. Like in terms of erotic art, at least.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, because like I couldn't even imagine like not having an interest in Vore, because it's just like an aesthetic appreciation, like a romantic appreciation and an erotic appreciation.
Yeah.
Like all at once. And, like I don't know, there's like, so much crossover between various different themes, concepts, and ideas that I don't know. That'd be like I don't know, just like getting a lobotomy or something. It's kind of terrifying to think about, honestly.
For sure. And with that, I think you mentioned you had a boyfriend. Are there circumstances where like you do get intimate and there's no Vore related thing at all? Because you said you don't typically look at art that isn't Vore, at least sexually. You don't look at art that's not Vore. What does that look like in sexual encounters? Like, do you watch Vore, or I hope I'm making sense.
Oh yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Like if you needed to like get off or something.
Yeah, basically.
So I would say like if there's like an intimate like romantic relationship where like another person, like I feel like that can still be like quite erotic to me. But like like I don't know, like casual sex, like I don't know, that'd be pretty difficult for me to find like super erotic on it.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, I feel that too. Like I've never been a one night stand guy. There's obviously got to be like some type of connection before intimacy happens. But like, so like Vore isn't required when you're, being intimate with your partner. It's
so like if I can like overlap like having sex and like horny thoughts like at the same time.
Okay.
That's like the golden trio, because obviously I can never get eaten, so try.
Not yet. At
VR,
least.
man.
Yes, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm booking my trip to Tokyo.
No, that does sound very interesting. That Vore Cafe, honestly, like for me, not even having the interest in the fetish like that, it sounds like a fucking experience, though.
Right.
I mean,
you said
right?
It says cafe, but does that mean you're the food?
Yeah. Is there eating? Do people drink coffee?
No. So like in Japan, there's like a tendency to call like these like social experiences or like events where you can just like meet people in costumes or whatever, cafes. So it's called Vore Cafe. I don't think they actually like serve food or anything.
Damn it! I've been fooled. I go to Vore Cafe, I want some fucking food, and I see a dude in a fucking inflatable ball in a hot tub. I'm pissed.
I only have
One-star
one
review
lunch
on
hour.
Yelp. No, but God, I'm interested in that Vore Cafe though, and I think you mentioned it's like a one-on-one experience. Like you go in there, they like take you to a room. Do you know more details on it?
Oh jeez, I could like send you the Twitter account to it.
Yeah, that would be great.
They have like a bunch of they even have like little mangas made up for it too. It's like
All right.
Oh, that is fucking
different art
sick.
styles. Like it's literally like you know when you get a Japanese car and like they have the little cute characters and like showing
Sure.
how to change your oil and shit. It's just like it's really adorable.
I love Japan for that kind of shit. Oh my god, they have their own fucking character for the Vore Cafe. We live in the best timeline, dude.
They have their own lore for their cafe.
I'm not sure how much you would know about this, but like the demographic of people in the Vore community, is there a lot in Japan? Is there a lot in America? Or
So in terms of countries, I would say most Vorophiles, usually from like the Anglosphere, so U.S.,
sure.
the UK maybe not as much. There's a lot from Russia actually, and
The Russians are freaks, bro.
all
They're into a
theirs.
lot. Like you said, the original Inflato, whatever, was a Russian-based.
There's a
forum.
Russian website.
Yep.
so there's actually like there's like cultural differences in Vore art depending on what country it's from. Like,
All right.
Could you touch on that?
like-
That's
so Japanese Vore art, like there'll be a lot of overlapping themes between like Japan and like the rest of the world. But like in Japanese Vore, like it's a lot more. There's like it's more popular to have like these like tube monsters or like likes where they like swallow up like demure like defenseless like girls and stuff, which are like I don't know. There's like like because I think mainly because of like likes in The Legend of Zelda and Cell from Dragon Ball Z. You're like,
oh, yes, absorbing the androids and shit. Yes.
yeah.
And then Majin Buu also absorbed fucking people. Oh, I didn't even. That is Vore as fuck.
Like definitely a lot of Vorophiles like noticed their entrance when they saw Cell eating like android in Dragon Ball Z.
And if I recall, it's a pretty intense.
Tail Vore.
Oh wait, what was it called?
Yeah, she's like Tail Vore.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. But yeah, I remember. Yeah, in Dragon Ball Z, it was an intense experience, and like it's and I guess that goes into the transformation aspect of it as well because it changes Cell. It literally absorbs this person. He changes. Oh damn, that's fucking. Okay, I'm just having like a revelation here that I watched some Vore when I was younger. Okay, but so yeah, the cultural aspects. So yeah, are you're saying like with Japanese, it's the like a monster consuming like a helpless person, or?
So I would say that those themes tend to just be more popular. They're not like completely dominant. Like this is Japanese Vore and this is
sure.
There's absolutely no overlap. But like in terms of like the frequencies of themes, like there definitely is like this more focus on like either like monsters or like tube monsters eating girls, especially with like the tentacles and stuff. Like they'll get eaten into the tube and they'll be surrounded by tentacles on all sides, kind of like Billy.
What you're saying, a tube monster? So.
Yeah, like a worm or like like from Legend of Zelda.
I see what you're saying. Okay, the creature itself is like a tube, right? Like
yeah.
I see. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, man, Japanese, they got a lot of like monster-based things. Like I get it. Like obviously kaiju stuff and like I don't know. I'm not gonna get racist. I'm not trying to be racist, but it's feeling that way a little bit. So I'm gonna stop. But I get what you're saying.
We got a lot of monster-based stuff.
Yeah. Now, what would you say is like a more Western, focal point to Vore, or a commonality, I guess?
So let me see.
Like big women.
So that's pretty popular, especially when you overlap with like the macrophile community, getting eaten by like a sexy, seductress giant woman. There's also like a subset that really like the idea of like women who are being eaten like dinosaurs and stuff, like King Kong, like defenseless small women.
That is literally King Kong. He fucking hijacks the one bitch and like fucking, it's just taking the next step. He's just eating her now instead of getting shot from a fucking skyscraper.
Well, he had to put her somewhere. So he swatted at those planes.
That is a good point.
He swatted planes with one of his hands tied behind his back, basically.
Sorry, we kind of interrupted you, but
It's okay.
When you were saying that, it reminded me though of like Lady Dimitrescu or whatever from the new Resident Evil, like that
Oh,
big.
there's a lot of word of her, definitely.
Oh, I
A lot of
figured
horror art of her.
she got popular quick.
Duh.
I mean, yeah.
Like they Dami mommies.
Honestly, I mean, it's in her
mommies?
fucking name almost. Dimitrescu, whatever. But I'm really interested though in like the storytelling in Vore, like, because the little bits I've seen, it's just been usually 1 or 2 panel comics. Like the first panel would be the characters or whatever. Okay, maybe like 4. Then it's just like the process of the consuming, being inside, and then whatever the end is. But the idea of it being like I don't know, like a proper comic book or something. What's like the length of your preferred art? Is it a short little bite like 4 panels, or is it?
Geez, I mean, I love all sorts of horror. I like the short panels. I like the long comics. I love it all. It's all got its own certain je ne sais quoi to it, you know?
For sure. Sometimes you're in the mood for certain things.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes you just want to fucking bust a quick nut, so let's pull up one panel. Other times you want to have an experience. You get the fucking lotion and candles out,
You're gonna be edging for a while, so you read that 300-page comic. You stretch it out over a couple of days, and you're at work, and you're like, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Pop an Addy.
Yes, oh my God. Bro,
Okay, let's go.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Okay, jerking off on an Addy.
We got to do an
Holy
episode on
shit.
stim fapping.
Oh,
We
stim
gotta do an
fapping is its
episode
own
on stim
fetish.
fapping.
I developed that fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's unlike anything. I guess we can kind of is there like a I don't this can be for any fetish, but is there like drug use or anything in the community? Like it seems like
Does
some are
any
more
prey
prone.
get the predators high?
So,
Like, is there psychedelic prey?
So there's so I've seen this a couple times where like the prey will be inside the pred's mouth and the prey will be like hitting a bong, so they'll get like hot.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh my
Hotbox
God.
the fuck out of that prey.
Oh man.
In terms of other drugs, I don't think I've seen like a whole lot of overlap with other substances other than weed. Oh, alcohol, yeah. So there's
Oh yeah.
there's where like the pred will like swallow the prey, and like the pred will like be getting drunk at like a bar or shit, and the prey will just be getting covered in like beer, alcohol, or whatever, and like, being super drunk by absorbing it through the skin.
Dude, that sounds like literally an episode of it sounds like a cartoon. Like I could have
Yeah,
seen
it's like
that.
there's a
That is-
punchline built into this porn somehow.
That's
I love it.
insane. Is like age play a part of the art as well? Like, do they prey want to be young, innocent, yada yada, or like is there any involvement there?
I would say like as with any kink, it could possibly overlap with horror. I would say I don't think there is like a whole like too much age play stuff. Usually it's usually it's just like the characters like the same age. I mean there's like stuff like in you'll do like high school role plays or something, but I don't think that's too common. No.
It just sounds like more like the personality types are more important.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting that the personality plays so much of a role in this fetish.
It is. Yeah. Most people, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a common theme
Yeah.
as much. It's like a physical attribute rather. I don't know.
I don't know if this is a question. This might just be a thought. Predator prey is pretty much how most children like play, and the genesis of a lot of that. Are there social situations where you notice a predator prey dynamic when you're like out in real life, and does that turn you on somehow?
Oh, like it could be the lead up to a
Like
Vore
a
situation.
predatory
almost?
boss.
Like maybe even if someone just said, "I'm
an
gonna get you" or something like that. I don't know.
Oh geez. In terms of getting
Like, yeah, do you get like embarrassed sometimes for
Yeah,
inexplicable
accidental
reasons?
arousal. Yeah,
Yeah.
something that you didn't realize. Like, oh, that reminds me of this.
fuck. Just like talking about like stuffed stomachs in general, like
So if I sat down,
really turning.
ate like 6 slices of pizza, and was sitting here like, oh, I'm so stuffed.
Yeah, what if you heard a stomach gurgle?
Yeah, my stomach was
gurgles.
gurgling. I'm like, I'm so stuffed, I couldn't fit anything more in there. Do you have a stethoscope?
So no, I don't. But there are people in the community who actually like will go to sleep listening to stomach sounds.
Oh,
They got like 1 hour.
Wow.
like whale sounds, but stomach sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the question: do they want to hear like the full gurgling of digesting food, or a hungry stomach? Because I'd think that'd be a negative, like the hungry stomach.
Yeah, it's an empty stomach. It needs some prey.
I would say it's definitely more like digesting food and stuff like that. Like churning.
Okay.
I hate the sound of my stomach digestion stuff.
Oh, I personally hate it too. But that'd be so cool to be with somebody who gets turned on by me being a fat piece of shit and I just eat Oreos. And they're like, God damn, you're fucking hot right now. Like, come take a listen, babe. I mean, I abuse my body like that a lot. So I guess with your relationship, do you ever intentionally create a situation where like a stomach is upset or something that, like to create a foreplay situation almost, or is that too much?
No, not really. Nah.
Is it out of the question though?
In terms of like it, no, it was definitely not out of the question. Like, in terms of like stuff like during sex, like I don't know, just like feeling someone's hot breath like go over your face.
Oh hell yeah!
Into their mouth, or just like being eating ass and just being like really, completely in there. Oh,
I can agree with you on
someone's body.
I can agree with you on both those things, and not even related to Vore. Like that is just like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, I'll eat ass. But God, for some reason, I'm thinking of a situation where like me and my significant other, like, oh, when you get home tonight, we're gonna fuck. So like, I go and eat a pizza and don't take an antacid, and like my stomach's fucked up. Like I'm getting ready for you, babe. She comes home, fucking listens to that. Like I don't know. Does that something like that cross your mind?
I mean, like, in terms of like stuff you could do with eating that would arouse a profile. I mean, usually it's just like swallowing stuff whole, like swallowing gummy bears whole, or they're like
gum.
This is really popular with a lot of profiles, or like a subset at least is swallowing marbles.
Okay.
Be careful doing that.
But it should come out pretty easily if you don't have too many, right?
Like round little glass. Yeah, there's people like literally will swallow like 100 marbles, like completely fill up their stomach with them.
Holy fuck!
Seeing, like,
100 marbles?
Like
oh, and that's gonna make a lot of noise too in the
fuck?
stomach.
That's dangerous, isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I spoke to like one guy who said he was okay, but I do not condone or
only 99 came back out.
Unsafe acts, but like usually it's just like something going wholly into a body. It's just like,
let me tell you a funny story about a friend in our group. So I've been friends with Step Bro over here since kindergarten. So we've spent a lot of time together as friends. When we were in high school and I first met one of his friends, first night I ever met him, I watched him grab a board game out from underneath the bed and start swallowing pieces from it, and then go, well, nobody can play that game again. Put the game back.
Do you know what game it was?
No,
it was Monopoly or something like that.
It was literally, he swallowed like 2 or 3 marbles. It was, I don't know what it is.
Mancala, I bet.
Probably, it might be right.
Oh, if only it was aggravation, and then you get aggravated when you realize you can't even play it.
I don't know what game it was, but I just remember that specifically.
But you said you don't condone that, but do you participate in any of that eating of like foreign objects?
So the only thing I've done personally, so even though like I usually like 100% pray, like there's these things called what are they called, ovipositors or whatever, like.
Oh,
it's like these gelatin eggs that go inside of you or whatever. Like I don't really like think too much about like the fantasy of being like pregnant by an alien or whatever. But like just the sight of seeing those like gelatin eggs like go all the way in, like closing around it, like. Oof.
You like that?
Like just
all right.
filling up, yeah, like with like a lot of them. It's quite nice.
I gotta ask: is there situations where people want to see prey, eat prey, and then the predator, like
it's called Voreception.
Oh yes, that's the best name for it too. Fucking awesome.
Fucking turducken porn.
Fucking Inception,
Turducken
man.
porn, yes.
Inception gave us so much.
Yeah, Inception did.
Inception and Pokemon gave us so much, dude.
Yep.
God damn, there's so much to this.
Yeah, there's a lot. One guy on the subreddit, he kind of got mad. It seemed like he was gatekeeping. He asked, he's like, can we make it seem like Vore isn't just about like furry stuff? Like, I remember the times when it was about fantasizing about being eaten by a wild animal. Is that like a common trope among vorophiles? Or
that sounds like he's into like the real stuff or close to real.
Everyone has like their own preferences. I would say like being eaten by a human is probably like the most usually erotic for most vorophiles.
Okay.
Also, like there's like huge like furry community.
So you'd say probably humanoid.
Yeah.
Like a humanoid fox or a humanoid bear.
Being eaten by a dragon though is also like super popular. Like I
Okay.
love dragons.
Because dragons are fucking cool.
Yeah, dragons are
that's
fucking
badass.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, because the human thing, I don't know if this is an appeal, but what I think of right away is like it could never happen. So like the almost off limits of it, the impossibility, is that like part of the arousal where like it could never happen. I mean, maybe somehow, I don't fucking know, but like is that part of the arousal at all? Like the
fact that's off limits.
the fact that
Can't
it's
happen.
like impossible, but like you can, yeah.
So to me, no. Like I mean,
You wish it could happen.
possible. Like I would literally like fuck, the amount of
You'd
money
Vore me.
to get swallowed alive. Too much, okay? Too much. Like I'm sure you know, like that's what like any community, like I'm sure there's like some people will probably like find that like the like impossibility of it erotic, definitely. You know, like maybe like kind of like a Vore cuck fetish, maybe you can call it?
Yeah.
A Vore
Honestly.
cuck fetish. I love that.
So,
Cuck Vore.
so you said you would, if it was possible, you would get consumed by a person, and this is assuming if you survived. What if there's only like a 50% chance you could survive? Would you still want to be consumed?
50%.
Like, because that would be the ultimate
50%.
fucking. You would blow the biggest fucking load. Like I would assume. Like you're playing Russian roulette and indulging in your fetish to the most extreme degree.
I don't know. I'll give the odds at
66? 66?
92 is fair. Yeah,
Wow.
because I would take that too if I
Maybe
was
1 in
into it.
6. True Russian roulette. 1 in 6.
Yeah. Now, I guess we already kind of touched on it with the Vore Cafe, because obviously simulating it, is there something you'd like to see in simulation, like something like somebody create a contraption that could do it, or have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, why don't you make an invention for it?
Well, I would honestly, like, because this is really cool. You could help people like
Yeah.
really get off with their fetish, and like, I don't know, trying to make it as realistic as possible sounds like the goal, right?
Yeah. I suppose so.
Like, what I would like to see in like simulated stuff, I don't know if there's some way you could like imitate like an actual stomach or like complete. Well, because like right now, like all they got was like inflatables and like latex, which are like, you know, like a nice like a decent approximation, I guess. Like if you could actually like have that heat and like that actual like steam and like maybe like the aroma, like I'm sure there's
Put like a steam vac in there.
yeah.
Or not steam vac. What is it? Steam clothes steamer.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it.
Well, it sounds doable. That's
Like
the
a rug
thing. It
doctor?
sounds like if somebody's willing to
Yeah.
put in the capital.
Yeah, like and especially like especially important I think would be trying like just the texture, like the mucus.
You could just do it in a sauna.
Right? But that would
That's dry though.
yeah. Do it in a sauna, yeah.
So what is the ideal texture of a stomach then? Do you know
It's
what a
going to be
stomach feels
gushy.
like?
It's going to be, you know, firm, but
Are you fantasizing? Like, do you actually know what the inside of a stomach feels like?
Well, hold on. I'm pretty sure most people have probably gotten shit faced in public before. So like, you know what? I mean, like at least the content of the stomach feel like.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's not pretty.
Painful. Hurts.
Like you wake up with puke on your face and you're like, oh, this is what it's like.
I just did Vore. I did reverse Vore.
I reverse board.
So that's actually a thing.
Oh, I guess yeah, puking rather than like letting them out the back door, puking them up seems pretty yeah.
No, there's even reverse full tour where they go up the butt and they come out the mouth.
Hell yeah, dude.
Reverse
That's
full
like that
tour.
episode of South Park, dude. That is South Park, man. They predicted this shit.
Every week.
All the different like variants of Vore, it's like different skate moves, like reverse back door.
Oh yeah, we got a
What
kick
the
flip,
hell?
we got the heel flip. Oh, and then going in the back door is like fakie or nollie instead of like
come
normal
on.
stance.
Oh
Gotta
man.
go ear to ear, man. Got up all in their brain.
That is great though. Is there like an ear, like going in the ear and coming out the other ear? Is that? Do you ever see that?
I've seen one single image titled ear for, which
Oh, if you can find that, please send it to us.
What about lactation Vore?
yeah, the breast for that's
Yeah, breast Vore.
Going in the,
The
nipple.
milk ducts.
Yep, and then they get covered in milk. Maybe they like come out or they get digested in the milk. Depends on, or they turn into the breast. Depends on.
They turn into the breast.
Yeah, that makes sense though. That because I kind of get that. Like, is it a case where they develop a third breast, or they're missing a breast already, and like they're consuming them to get that second breast?
Or maybe
developed?
the prey consumes the breast that was already there, the
Oh
tissue.
fuck, like a parasite.
How much content do you think we're leading to right now. Like somebody's gonna listen to this, and all the
None of
things
this
we're
is going to be
saying-
original, I don't think, because
That's fair. That's fair. If we thought of it, somebody else definitely did, especially if they're into this.
I would say for breasts, where the most common is like this, the breasts either get bigger just by having the prey inside them, or they get bigger because like the prey's been digesting, becoming the breast. They go wonk, like that.
Yep. What's like the more, or I guess the most obscure like part of the body that you've seen people get like absorbed or, brought into somebody? Like, would a forehead work or
Eye socket Vore?
eye socket seems
hair.
likely.
Hair. Through the hair
Well, that
hole?
makes sense though. They could get tangled up in it.
The hair is like it'll be like a sentient like appendage they can like control, and like they'll just like cocoon them in hair or something, and then something will happen.
Cocoon them
kinda
in
cool.
hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All
like
right.
Rapunzel.
You talked about unbirthing earlier, so I guess that leads me to think there are definitely at least some women in this community. Do you think it's mostly
Oh, yeah.
guys, though?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely male dominant. There's a lot of like the based off the polls I've done, like the community is like actually like very LGBT. So like
Yeah.
I see what the poll we're doing right now is 80% identify as cis and 20% identify as yes or maybe trans. So pretty LGBT.
That seems to be like how it skews a little bit with furries,
I would
right?
say in fetishes in general, it almost skews definitely more towards gay. Definitely in furries, but yeah, 100% furries. But I'd say in fetishes in general.
The two most common sexualities are actually three would be straight and bi, which sometimes swap places in terms of popularity, and then ace. Like there's a very large like asexual contingent of people who are vorophiles. Like so they basically usually they just find only voerotic and not much other erotic material.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't
Okay.
necessarily call that asexual. I don't want to get into that too much, but I'm kind of the same way with my fetish. I only find pool toys and stuffed animals attractive, really. Like, I don't really find... I love my husband, and I think he's attractive, but other than that, I don't look at a woman or a man and really find them attractive at all. But are there any asexual, like, furries, or not furries, asexual Vores that are insistent that Vore isn't a fetish, and they treat it like that it's non-sexual to them?
So there are people who like Vore just like aesthetically. Those people exist. But then I would say even rarer, like this is like 1% of 1%, would be the type of person to say that Vore is a non-sexual kink.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say
there's that
those
contingent.
people are quite rare, honestly.
Yeah.
Most people see Vore as like mostly sexual, or at least sexual and beyond that.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like in the furry community. There are a lot of furries out there who claim that it's not sexual at all, and I'm like, nah, man. I've been to a furry con. It's mostly there's a lot of fetishes in the furry community. Like, yeah, there's definitely some non-sexual aspects of it, and there's definitely people in the furry community and fandom that don't find it sexual, but that is not the majority in my experience.
I think a lot of the appeal for it comes from like, you can have like this abstract self, this like persona who is divorced from you, but that you could use to explore like more intimate or very deeply personal themes without having to directly associate yourself with you. I think that's why like a lot of furries are LGBT, like almost 80%, I think.
You hit it on the fucking head.
You can express yourself more.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say while a lot of people use it to like express like a sexual self, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess you could call it like, it's kind of like a mask, or for some people, though I guess there are some people who also find like the anthropomorphism itself like quite erotic.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people in the furry community that claim that it's not a fetish at all. And yes, there's so much of the furry world that isn't sexual.
Anthropomorphism fetish.
Yeah, and there's so many. There's definitely a lot of people, or there's so much of, the furry fandom that isn't sexual. There's non-sexual furry art. There, like you said, you have that mask, that character. But I will say that at least 90% of the furries that I have met have some underlying fetish that they express through that community, whether it is the anthropomorphic fetish, or it's Vore, or balloons, whatever it is. I would say most furries, in my experience, do use the community for sexual reasons, I guess. But I do hear a lot of people say that, like within the furries, they claim that they're very adamant that it's not a fetish. And I'm like, well, kind of it is, first of all. And then second of all, what's the big deal if it is a fetish? Like,
I would say for some people, it's definitely like a slowly erotic. I'd say it's like a tool, or I would say like it's both a kink and also just like a type of like social tool which you can use.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, it seems, at this point. There's a huge, it's a sprawling community with so many features. Even me not being a part of it, I can see that there's a lot more to it than just sex.
Oh yeah, no,
Anything
I'm not
like
saying that one at all.
But I could see, but if you can agree that there's parts of it that aren't sexual, you can see that there'd be some people who are in it not sexually at all.
So yes, there are definitely some people that aren't it, but that's not the majority. I was
sure.
So what I was thinking specifically of is, I think it was the My Strange Addiction when they covered the furries.
Yes.
The lady that they had on that was a furry claimed that it was not a fetish, it was not sexual, and that she was shocked when she found out the dark side of the community. I'm like, fucking hey, are you kidding me? That's what I'm coming at. That's what I'm coming. Yes, there are non-sexual furries and people who don't look at that as a fetish or sexuality or anything like that, but that is not the norm. That is not the majority. But there are people that I've met in the furry fandom that have that sort of mentality. So do we have any final questions?
I had one. I guess this could be like part of the dumb lightning round, but I want to ask. I should have asked it earlier. What's the term for people that are into Vore? Is it Vorophiles, or is there a preferred term?
So yeah, Vorophiles is the term that was coined within the community. So yeah, I guess that works. Also, there's endosomatophobia, which is a subtype of Vore, which is like non-fatal and like body exploration oriented.
Okay.
I guess that's the two terms I could think of.
But like, I guess like when casually talking about it, they don't use like another term, or I don't know. It just seems some communities prefer to go by something else, or maybe a shortened version.
Yeah. I mean, usually when referring to each other, I don't know, like using the word Fred and Prey, but
Fred and Prey.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Also, there's observers too who don't want to get eaten.
They just want to watch.
The cuck.
Yeah, they are the cucks. They're cucks.
Oh, assist.
What do they assist? How do they assist?
Pushing them in.
Like shoving people down the gullet or shoving them into a butthole or something like that.
I do remember one.
Laying on top of the stomach.
They hold the nose and
They hold the nose. They put on the goggles. They lube them.
I do remember one piece of Vore art that I saw where it was like an alligator type creature eating anthropomorphic whatever, and then there was a third character that was like the coach and like telling and like coaching this person on how to eat this person.
Very interesting.
Or this alligator creature.
I mean, there is got to be some tact to eating somebody. There's a right way and a wrong way, especially if you want them to survive. I don't know. Like don't bite down too hard.
It's like a Gordon Ramsay kind of character.
Yeah, just yelling at him.
Fucking rule.
Well, that's the point, Gordon. But
is there anything that we haven't covered so far that you want to talk about?
Yeah, anything that like it seems important, or if you just want to get some stuff out there.
Oh, geez. Let's see. Well, I guess I've mainly talked about World War, but I should say like a lot of people who are into Vore, like they like a lot of different types. You know, like anal Vore, unbirth, whatever. And there's some people who like definitely have a preference for those types over other types of Vore. Yeah. What else?
I know it's so much, and I know we're just like talking about now, and I think we've thrown around the idea of revisiting subjects, whether it be talking to people again, the same people, getting multiple people on something, because going into this, we obviously knew there'd be a lot to discuss, but it is a lot more than one conversation can go over. Yeah. And we want to give people the time because we don't want to like poke fun or anything. We want people to we want to take it relatively seriously.
Yeah,
and
we're trying to normalize fetishes.
Yeah.
A little bit. Maybe normalize isn't the right word, but I don't know. Make them less I don't know. People don't talk about fetishes a lot. Make them less
taboo. A lot of our experiences with fetish, at least on my end, is seeing it online, seeing brief interactions with people, literally not getting to discuss it. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Just try to get rid of any sort of like negative
stigma.
Yeah, there you go. Stigma. Perfect.
Yeah, any sort of stigma that surrounds.
I mean, luckily,
you're not hurting anybody.
This day and age, we've moved away from that quite a bit. I think people are a lot more accepting of things now. Fucking thank God. But
yeah.
Yeah, so if there's anything we miss, I think down the line we're gonna have to
This is
go
one
over
I think we're gonna
subjects
have to
again.
just because there's so many different. You said there's oral Vore, different. Yeah, there's million different types of Vore. It seems like.
It's fractally infinite.
Honestly, yeah, it's a snowflake, bro.
Do you want to plug like your username or your artwork at
Yeah.
all? So if anybody's listening to this and they want to have you make some art, is that something you want to plug?
Oh, sure. I mean, if you want to see my fur affinity, it is Foxy Grandpa with 2 A's on the end, not 1 A. Let's see.
Foxy Grandpa,
Yeah.
and that is on Fur Affinity, the website Fur Affinity.
Could I ask where?
Anything in 3D. I'm a cool 3D artist. I know how to sculpt.
Oh, that is awesome.
Okay.
Paint.
Okay, so now I got a question for you that's in depth, and this is for more of my personal fantasy. As we enter the world of VR and VR porn and sex simulators, is there any way you could assist me in taking an existing sex simulator and retexturing one of the characters or creating a character so I can have VR sex with Tempest Shadow?
Yeah, sure.
You could do that. Like, okay, have you messed with VR porn at all? Or VR sex?
So I've developed not safe for work avatars for VR chat. I know with Neos VR, like they have so many fucking cool features in there. Like you can actually like auto mount like a dildo or a penis to like a vagina and like have it penetrate as you move and stuff. Like there's all sorts of crazy shit. There's even like,
Okay.
VR board. Like it's actually it's a little jank right now, but I mean it's kind of cool.
Yeah, there is.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, I would honestly be interested in making that happen. I don't know if there's any good sex simulators. VR Hot is one that I have that I think is decent, but it's also super fucking janky. But if I could get a character made of that character, I'd be willing to pay some money for that.
Yeah, dude, I'll totally make you a character, sure.
All right, we'll talk about this later then. Sweet.
All right.
Overall, would you consider your fetish to be a net positive? It benefited your life?
I love
Yeah.
that word.
And you wouldn't trade it for anything?
Oh, definitely not. No.
Yeah, good. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. I'm the same way.
Honestly, I've been kind of asking my dumb questions the entire time. So.
I got a couple of them, but
Yeah, I saved a couple for this.
Okay, well, okay.
who
shoot,
wants to
guys.
start?
This I wouldn't say this is a dumb question. Just you mentioned that you make art related to Vore. My question would be: were you into art before you were into Vore, or did your interest in Vore kind of drive you into artistry?
Oh, that's a good question.
So I would say, I mean, I love art and making art, but in terms of like getting seriously into making like actually like really detailed 3D models, it was mostly because I wanted to make better Vore models. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's very cool.
All right. Have you ever seen Meat Canyon on YouTube?
He's great.
Meat Canyon?
Meat Canyon?
That guy who draws that really uncanny art, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Did you
Good
ever see
animator.
the Magic School Bus WAP video?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, you got to watch that.
The title, though.
Yeah, it is. It once you said something about unbirthing, there is some Vore in there. The Magic School Bus, they shrink themselves down and go into Miss Frizzle's WAP.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I was wondering if you saw that and if you had any opinions on it, but clearly you haven't
Messi
seen
says
it yet.
"wop" like the whitest fucking old man ever.
WAP.
Okay, and Marquise, you got it?
All right. Through your adventures in Vore, do you find yourself better at biology and know a lot about the body now?
I would say, I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Like, I know what, like, the various features of the stomach are called, and what the little things in the intestine are called. I feel like that's probably not, like, not very advanced knowledge, though.
That's probably more than the average, though.
I was gonna say, yep.
That's interesting to me.
Probably not quite as much as people that are into like the body exploring.
Yeah, that's
like
my other lightning round question. Is
Or maybe the cardiophile.
in the intro we talked
They probably
about
know
like
some
colonoscopy and endoscopy, but I guess we did already kind of go
Oh,
over
yeah.
how that is part of it, but not necessarily for your.
Like using the
Yeah,
scope.
my other question was also related to this. I was
Yeah.
like, like on the subreddit or anywhere, do people like post their colonoscopies? Like, here you go.
Is that a part of it
Like
at
you
all?
can get like a first person view of going into my butt.
Or even down in somebody's stomach?
real life stuff tends to be like pretty unpopular. So I think we don't allow it right now. I think we put it in
Interesting.
but like in terms of like endoscopes and stuff, like yeah, I've seen some pretty high endoscopes that I like.
But my understanding is your stomach has to be empty for that. So that kind of fucking sucks, doesn't it? Like you get to see inside somebody and like, oh, it's fucking empty. Like,
dude, there's people who will buy like an endoscope, like do, make Vore videos,
fucking awesome.
like gummies and stuff, and like beer. Yeah,
That is insane. I if you can find a link, obviously don't fucking push yourself too hard to like send us shit, but I would love to see something like that.
yo, yeah, sure.
Okay, Bleep, you got other questions?
Nope, that was it.
That was it.
Okay, Mesky.
Have you ever seen any like Vore based dishes or Vore recipes, anything like that? Vore d'oeuvres potentially. I think Mark's
Oh,
brought
because
that
it
up.
looks appealing in the
Marquise.
stomach or something?
Well, I mean, you could make like little like
Lego
like
man
hot
with
dogs.
ketchup on it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Fucking entree, bro.
I don't know. You could make some like little hors d'oeuvres out of
Dinosaur chicken.
like dinosaur chicken or something like that, or like a fox shaped pastry or something. Is that something that anybody that you've seen or you'd have any interest in?
Animal crackers.
I've seen some very cute like crackers and cookies stuff, but I don't know if that's necessarily super Vore related. Usually it's like stuff you can swallow whole, like
Okay, so you gotta swallow it whole.
gummy
Okay.
butterflies or gummy stuff like that.
What is like the creme de la creme that you would consider for people actually swallowing something in real life? Like, is it the Lego man or is it the marble or what's your best thing?
Oh geez, I don't know. What's the biggest thing someone could?
I'm putting you on the spot. Bigger better is better in this case.
Oh yeah, dude, like seeing the balls go down or like seeing it fill up the stomach. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what could be like the biggest thing you could safely and naturally swallow.
We'd have to talk to LA Beast, I think.
I know that.
Yeah, I actually somebody I worked with, he's into like fire juggling and shit, and he knew people that, or I think one person that could swallow swords. And obviously it's insane, it's dangerous at first, but like, so that's appealing to you as well. I guess that like serves both.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Goes in and you get
That's
to see it
pretty
come
hot,
out,
okay.
and yeah.
Somebody swallowing a sword is pretty hot. Okay. What about like a 3-foot long horse dildo?
Well, my dad wanted me to swallow swords, but it was different swords.
I mean, unless you could swallow the entire thing, like actually.
You're like, no. You're like, fuck that. If they can't do it all, I don't want to see any of it.
I just the sight of something sinking in or going in deep. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
We're strong response that way.
Okay. Marquise, do you have any other questions? Mesky?
Have you ever seen Stab Wound Vore?
Jeez.
Maybe Gunshot Vore?
I kind of get it though, yeah.
Maybe there's someone out there, but I've never seen that.
I'm sure it exists.
Where it's
Okay.
where they're like they just
Shrunk down.
goo and they like blop them into each other. Like slime, they're slime creatures.
Are there cases where maybe somebody's missing a limb and then they consume somebody to get that limb back? Is that kind of a thing, or am I off base?
Assume somebody to get the limb back.
Yeah, like to like regenerate something intentionally that they're missing. Maybe might be more vague.
I don't think I've ever seen that. No, the only Vore I've seen like that is like regeneration Vore, like where like the prey's injured and the predator will like swallow them and they're like healed by the stomach or something.
Oh, they heal the prey.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
There's got to be one of a predator swallowing prey to get a bigger dick. That's got to exist.
Oh yeah, that's like
That's
You're
called
like, oh yeah,
Viagra.
that's the standard. That's the standard.
so like cock Vore especially like that would be
Sandy
pretty
cheeks cock for.
Going in the urethra.
Something crawls
No, I
in
made an
there.
Among Us edit of that. You gotta see the one with you.
Oh, hook us up with that, please.
Yeah, you gotta hook us up with that for sure. I'm definitely gonna be in touch with you after this episode, anyways.
And I just want to touch, when you say cockvore, that's putting them through the urethra?
Yeah, and then usually they go into the testes and like they're like full of cum somehow. Or more rare, like I would say this
It's
is
like a Willy Wonka.
5% of cock Vore they go into the bladder and like swim around in the pee or whatever.
All right, swim around
Okay.
a pee. So there's.
I mean, I guess that's
fetish.
like going in your dick into the balls is like a smaller version of going in your mouth and going to the stomach in a way. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like there's like cum digestion where there literally become like like giant. The balls become giant, like full of cum from like the prey turning into cum. And there's also,
All right.
so this is getting more rare and esoteric. There's literally there's Vore where the prey will be digested into cum and then impregnated into someone, and then
I was literally just thinking of that.
It's like half the prey or whatever. It's like
Oh, wild.
Man, people get creative.
Dude, yeah, honestly, people
get creative
so
when they're
creative with
horny.
fetishes. Like
People get creative when they're horny, man.
dude, straight
Mix
up.
that with a weird fetish, and all of a sudden you got a
You
recipe
got what you
there.
just described.
Yep. And the word cum gets used a lot. A lot. What's up with furries and their love of excessive amounts of semen? I
People love semen, bro.
I follow the Drug Circle Jerk subreddit, and there was recently a video of somebody in a fursuit smoking a bong, and the bong was filled with cum.
oh god, yeah, I own the fucking cum pizza. Oh my god.
Oh, cum pizza, and then cumflation's a thing too.
Yep, I think this is signifying the end of our conversation. Once Mesky starts talking about cum bongs, I think it's time to tap.
All right. Anything else you want to add before we cut you loose?
I have one more thing to say. What's a furry's favorite brand of cigarettes?
I got no idea.
Paw Mall.
Yeah, goddamn, you got it. Yep.
Paw Mall?
Paw
Mall? That's funny as hell.
I don't get it.
I actually am surprised I got that.
What about Murrboro?
What's myrrh? Is that lingo?
Like
Yeah, that's
merman?
like myrrh is like that's like the furry word for sexy. Like if somebody's like sexy, like oh myrrh.
Or how about furry Newports? You like that one? No, but yeah, I guess I mean that's everything we have for you. We thank you so much for coming on. Seriously, it's a pleasure. And like I touched on earlier, we're almost certainly going to have to come back and visit these fetishes again and make sure we touch every part. So, but yes, touch every part. You fucking immature motherfucker over here. He starts giggling right when I say that. But
Said we're immature.
yeah,
You did, I guess.
What did you think of Vore, Marquise?
I never knew anything about it. I'd never heard of this before. And it definitely wasn't what I was picturing. I was just picturing a Magic School Bus the whole time.
Yep.
And then when I saw the comics that the guy sent, it was like just comics.
Not Magic School
And
Bus.
everything had it always had like a punchline at the end. Like every fucking Vore comic has a joke in it. I like that.
Did it really?
Yeah, really.
I guess I didn't catch that. I
It's
didn't.
either a
dig
joke
too
or
deep into it.
it's at least the ones that we saw that he sent us, none of them ended badly.
Yeah, that's because
There's
that's what
always
he
a joke
likes.
or like a happy ending.
That's what he likes. He likes prey. He likes the cute stuff. That's the way he described it. That's what he likes.
Yep.
All right, Step Bro. We'll have to think of a new nickname for you, but what'd you think?
Vore's chill.
Vore's chill.
Yeah, it is not as at least speaking with him, it wasn't as weird. It was kind of like sweet, I guess, in a sense, like the way he would describe it. And I don't know. We discussed it, but it's just like being very intimate, too intimate, in my opinion. But like that's what they want, clearly.
The ultimate form of intimacy of literally being inside somebody.
Yep.
We should have mentioned the song "Sailing Through" while we were talking to him.
Yeah. There's.
That's a Vore song, right there.
I think so. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Now that I think about it.
Jeff Mangum wants to get Vored by Anne Frank.
Okay, I got to. I'm gonna write him a letter and just confirm with him if that's the case. But yeah, Vore's. Yeah, it wasn't as weird as my exposure to it previously had me think.
Yeah, you had a pretty strong opinion on it during the intro.
Because the Vore I saw was curated by you, and I'm sure back then we were young, so it was more like, you know, like
Shock.
Yes, you'd go to shock sites and stuff.
Yeah.
You basically showed me Vore as a shock site,
Yeah, exactly.
and it was shocking.
Yeah.
When I'd only ever seen like tits and stuff, you're like, hey, have you ever thought about getting consumed fully and then passing through their digestive system? No. Thought has not gone through my head.
I had that same feeling 20 years later, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
But yeah, ultimately my personal opinion was changed about it. Like when I first posted on there, one of the first commenters saying, yeah, we hope we can change people's opinion and make it seem like it's not as outlandish as it seems. You know, he was saying like, you know, Vore isn't as outlandish as it seems. And the first thought when I read that is like, yeah, fucking right, bro. I'll be honest. Like that was the first thought that crossed my head. It's like, yeah, fucking right. But no, when we talked to the Foxy, it wasn't as outlandish, and it actually kind of makes sense when you think about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing about speaking with somebody about it, and they can try to rationalize it to you rather than just looking at pictures yourself and you like being like, what am I seeing? And yeah, that's
like I can see the appeal of it. You know, it's not my thing, but I can definitely see the appeal of it, and it's not as outlandish as it seems. That's pretty much it. Okay. That was it. That's the episode.
Yay!
So if you're into Vore, man, it's whatever you're into.
Yeah.
Keep Vore.
Ring the bell. Somebody ring the bell.
Keep Vore in yourself. You know. Keep watching Vore.
Let the universe Vore us all.
Yeah. Maybe.
Everybody go have a snack.
Yep,
I know
go
everybody's
eat a snack
and eat it whole.
Yep.
Eat a couple marbles for your homies.
Yep. Whatever you're into. Whatever you're into.